Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive JT. Today, as I'm out cruising around in the Jeep Gladiator, I wanted to talk about a mod mistake that I almost made in hopes of maybe helping somebody else out if you're considering this yourself. What I'm talking about is the auxiliary bank of switches, that little railroad track action there, that you can put in the little cubby right down below here in the Jeep Gladiator. You know, I was all set to do that. I'd gotten to the point where I've added so many electrical accessories to the truck that I either had to put in a bunch of individual switches, you know, holes punched through the little knee cover down there, or go with some sort of a switch or controller to be able to handle what I wanted or what I have. So I actually had gotten one. It came in, it was the little switch bank. I believe it has 4 accessory or auxiliary switches that you can utilize, and it goes in that area that I showed you, right down below the switches down there, or the window controls. Problem with it is it's a heck of a lot of disassembly. You basically have to take the whole front part of the center cluster column there apart, and I wasn't looking forward to that, but nonetheless I got it. Now, fortunately for me, it didn't fit. Now, what didn't fit was a grommet that you're supposed to put in a hole in the firewall to run the wiring. A further problem with that is that it only allows for one wire, that wire, to go through. But the grommet was too small. It did not fit in the hole in the Jeep Gladiator. It would just fall right through. It was not large enough. So that got me to looking around, because I think any mod that you get that's supposed to work in your vehicle, it says it's for your vehicle, should fit your vehicle. Now, there can be minor things, you know, no big deal, but when it comes to a grommet that's custom, really, you can't find anything else. So your choice is to just forget about the grommet, let it dangle through a bigger hole in the firewall, or try to come up with something yourself. And I really wasn't into doing that. I really didn't want to design anything or, you know, fudge anything to fit in that hole. So I got to looking around, and I found the Voswitch right here. Now, this thing looks like it comes with the truck. You can see from the picture, from the video, and I'll put a couple of pictures up here, you can see that it looks like it's integrated right into the grab handle over there on the truck. I mean, it looks seamless. It's very simple to do. The hardest part of it, I suppose, is pulling off the existing cover. There is an installation video on the channel, by the way. If I can remember, I'll link it down below. You can see what I'm talking about when it comes to the installation. But anyway, you have to pull the cover off. Not a big deal. You have to loosen up the trim piece there. You don't even have to take it all the way off. So once you get that done, you kind of have to finagle the wire through there and then run it down below and then out. Not really that difficult to do. The instructions say you're supposed to loosen the windshield and lean it forward. You don't have to do all that. I didn't do any of that. Again, watch the install video if you want to see how I did it. Very simple to do. It mounts over above the battery, and that's it. And then you just wire your accessories into that, and they're all controlled by the switches. Now, you can get a different number if you want, or different options as far as the number of things you can control. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe I have 2 open right now. So I still have growth potential. In other words, I can add other things to it. I think you can get one that replaces the whole grab handle, or at least a panel on it. I think it's actually the panel right below. And then you can have, it's either 6 or 8 options, I think. I think it might be 8. So you could control all kinds of things. And I love that it's, again, so simple to do. Now, what that saved me from doing, of course, was tearing apart the whole center console area. And once you get that done, where the switch would fit, you even have to disassemble that piece a little bit. I mean, it's a whole bunch of work as compared to this Voswitch option that makes it simple. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by Voswitch or anything like that. I just decided to try the product, and and it worked really well. That is the biggest mod mistake I've made. There's one other I've done on a Jeep. It wasn't on this Jeep, and it's kind of why I hold back in doing it to this Jeep, and that is an exhaust system. I had put, I can't remember, it was like a Dynaflow or something like that, I think, muffler on a Jeep Wrangler that I had 100 years ago. It's amazing they were even out that long ago. But I put that thing on, and I liked it at first. I mean, when I started the truck, I got some sound. When I was driving down the road, I got a whole bunch of sound. And that was the biggest problem. I mean, I find that exhausts are good, aftermarket exhausts, louder exhausts, when you have them for the first maybe week or two. After that, they start to get a little bit annoying in the background. I mean, you can always hear them. They're always there. They never quiet down. And while they might be pleasant to listen to when you're in the mood for it, they're very unpleasant to listen to when you're not in the mood for it. Like if you're taking a long distance trip. Now, I couldn't imagine taking off for a 2 or 5 or 10 or whatever hour trip, and the whole time having to listen to that exhaust growl. It's not even a growl, it's just noise in the background. I recommend, if you want a throatier sound and you have a Jeep, because I found that it's only in the Jeep, the specific design of this one, that it makes a difference, and that's the air raid cold air intake. It gives you a little bit of grumble from under the hood when you get on the gas. You might be able to hear it in the background now, maybe not, but even though it's obviously always there, when you're traveling at speed, it's such a low sound that it doesn't become annoying. It doesn't drone on and drive you crazy. But when you get on the gas and you first take off, you hear it. It's the best one that I've ever had. I've tried 2 or 3 other ones on the Jeep Gladiators that I've had, and none of them really did anything. I didn't hear any increased sound. I mean, it was nothing. And of course, as we all should know by now, they don't do anything for power. They don't do anything for fuel economy. I mean, if there's anything at all, it's to the nth degree, and it's nothing that you're ever going to notice or be able to observe in the truck. It's funny, I've had people tell me that they've put cold air intakes on, and even exhausts, and that they've noticed these huge gains, more power, better fuel economy. And I'm like, you know, that's got to be in your head, because I've had enough. I've never experienced any of that. So don't go into it expecting to have some profound change other than sound, which you might be able to hear here, that you get from the cold air intake, the air raid cold air intake. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know. Any mod regrets that you've done that after you got it in, maybe you thought, yeah, you know, I shouldn't have done that? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels, Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic, and Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.